Hey, pilot, welcome back to another solo show. Welcome to Ready for Pushback. I'm Nick Fialka. If it's your first time here, thanks for coming. This is a solo show, and this is an opportunity for me to have a conversation with you about something that I think is important. I usually pick some kind of topic to talk to for about, 5 to 15 minutes usually. And also, if it is your first time, check us out on Monday as well, because there's an interview episode coming up just around the corner. 2 episodes a week. It's how we roll. We've been going for a couple years now, and it's been awesome, and I'm really thankful for y'all. Today, we're talking about the power of asking questions and why asking questions is important. I want you to think about that. There's a lot of different phases of life that we are in. We're all different. You may be at an airline, or you may be in training, or you might be thinking about becoming a pilot, or somewhere in between. Who knows? But you love aviation. You love the idea of aviation. You want to make it happen.
Most pilots don't understand what career opportunities are available in the world of aviation. They're making career decisions based on advice from friends or posts on internet forums, meaning they are taking huge risks with their livelihood without having all the details. This podcast was created to help you understand the aviation industry so you can find your dream job. Let's get ready for Pushback. Here's your host and my dad, Nick Fialka.
First, for those people that are considering aviation as a professional career, or even just as some funsies, I think that those questions that you can answer and diving deep on your questions and finding many people that you can bounce things off of is important, because you need to gain perspective of what this career is like. And I want to first tell you to make sure you cast a wide net to the people that you talk to. Because if you talk to 1 or 2 pilots that do the same thing, you may or may not get different answers, and you may or may not get accurate information. If you talk to a person who maybe you think about being a military pilot and you want to be in the military, and you meet a person that is a military pilot and they're not super happy with their career choice, and they could talk to you pretty negatively about that. I know if you talked to me 10 years ago, I'd probably give you some input on why I thought it was a bad choice. And now, looking back on it, as I've done it, I think it's a great opportunity, great thing for people to do, but it just depends on what their life circumstances are. So that's the first part I think about, is cast a wide net, talk to as many various people as you can, and try to reach out. In the world of the internets, it's a lot easier to find those people. One of the great resources is clearly LinkedIn. You can find people. You want to find somebody that flies for United or Delta or a regional or the military, they are chilling out on LinkedIn, and you can connect with them and send them a message. And, be polite, be understanding of their time, but you could certainly reach out and ask. And most of the time, people in this industry are willing to help and really excited to mentor. And so you'll get some good quality answers. Now, let's think about people in flight school. Y'all are learning. There's so many things you got to learn. And I want you to be a question person, but I want you to also take this little tidbit with you. You got to know your stuff. You've got to know your maneuvers. You've got to know the things you're briefing. You've got to know your way around the aircraft. And you can't, there's this line where you can't really ask questions about, maneuvers as you're doing them if you don't understand how to do the maneuver, right? If you have a knowledge gap, that's not a great thing. But if you are trying to learn and trying to expand your horizon, let's go. That's a great opportunity to dive in. And I bet a lot of flight instructors have seen both sides, where you have somebody that's super prepared, that knows all the book stuff and is ready to understand a little bit of the sight picture better, or learn from your experience. There are people asking questions that are legit, and then there are people that are just totally unprepared that want to ask every question about whether it's a power setting or a flap setting or a airspeed or whatever the thing is that they didn't really study for. And so there's that balance, right? But be inquisitive and really find those people that can help answer your questions and help mentor you, because that's where lifelong friendships start. That's where opportunities for mentoring forever really begin. It's really fun to start asking questions and finding people that are there to help you and that are there to make you advance further. And that's great. Now, there's also the professional pilot avenue where you are job seeking and where you are, on your way. You have your trajectory. You're making your moves, and there are a lot of unknowns with the aviation industry. And the first thing I want to tell you is do your research. I see a lot of people that are not sure if they want to fly corporate or they want to fly airlines or they want to fly, fractional or whatever it is, or even military. Like you need to do your research on the old internets and learn about each type of lifestyle and take everything for a grain of salt. Ask lots of people, get a lot of information. But once you start understanding that, then you need to start drilling down about the companies that you are interested in, learn about them, and find a way to ask the questions that you need answers to have a good understanding of the company. Maybe you want to understand their schedule better. Maybe you want to understand the pay or benefits or whatever it is. You can figure that out. And a little bit of it is jumping on the internet and finding people that can do it. But a little bit of it also is getting in front of them and meeting them and being face to face with them and having a conversation and getting your questions answered and having intelligent questions to ask, because those things will help cultivate a mindset with the people that you're meeting that you are a great person, a great potential hire. And so I want to encourage you to do that and not just make assumptions about an organization. Just because one place is flying one way doesn't mean the rules are all the same or the lifestyle is all the same in another organization. So you need to be clear on those. And the more questions you ask, the more you are going to have an understanding of something that's helpful for you. And I want you to be able to take a grasp of where you want to go and how you want to get there and what works best for you and for your family and the people that you support. Because the worst thing you could do is just try to get a job and you want to get some flight time and end up at a place that you don't click with, or end up at a place where you're not interested in flying the type of flying that they're doing. Maybe it's single pilot at night in bad weather every single day. That doesn't sound really awesome. But if you're expecting that, maybe it's acceptable for now. And you need to know what you're getting into. So ask those questions, right? Find quality questions to ask and know how to ask those questions. The last part is going to be about the interview, right? When you are in an interview, they are going to be asking you a ton of questions, and clearly use Spitfire Elite Interview Consulting to learn about how to articulate yourself clearly and how to answer questions like a champ. But at some point, the ball's going to be in your court and they're going to ask you, all right, well, do you have any questions for us? What questions can we answer for you? You need to be prepared to ask questions to them that are impactful, that show you've given it some thought. And I challenge you to find a question to ask that nobody else has asked. Because if you just roll in there and ask about, hey, I saw you had new aircraft deliveries. When do you think they're going to come? Or, hey, how do you guys like the new contract? Or something basic. That's a waste of an opportunity. And so I want you to be impactful. I want you to think of the question that you can ask to that person that nobody else has asked. Because when you do, it'll resonate with them and they'll remember it and they'll never forget it. And they're gonna nod their head and think, oh, this person's given it some thought. That's my kind of person. I want to invest in them. I want to give them an opportunity. And you'd be surprised at the opportunities you can get when you are able to ask questions that matter, that have impact. Questions are powerful, and a lot of your life can transform if you ask the right questions. So that's what I want to encourage you to do today, all right? So think about some questions that you can ask. Find the ways to ask them with impact. And if you do that, you're going to be wildly successful. It's going to be a great ride. So let's go. Hey, pilot, before you go, make sure that you take a quick second, like and subscribe to the podcast. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. If you're listening on one of the podcast streaming services, you guys are the best. So please like it, subscribe to it, and maybe, if you have a chance, write a quick review and tell everybody what you think about the Ready for Pushback podcast. Thanks.